Hello and welcome to another wonderful episode of Eye on Port. This program is proudly brought to you by Serene Insurance, GOIL PLC, the Ghana Revenue Authority, Ghana Link, Meridian Port Services, and Phoenix Insurance. Our proud media partner is the Business and Financial Times. This program is powered by the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority. Now, this week, we are unlocking the potential of the Jamestown fishing harbour. And last Friday, the President, Akufo-Addo, commissioned this particular project, which brought some smiles on the faces of the people of Jamestown. Let's take a listen to that particular story.
President Akufo-Addo has officially commissioned the Jamestown Fishing Harbour with an assurance that the project will transform the local economy, generate employment, improve the lives of fisher folks, and boost domestic fish production. The harbour, which was realized from a $50 million aid from the Chinese government, was supervised by the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority. It is equipped with a range of modern facilities designed to address some of the long-standing challenges faced by Ghana's artisanal fishing sector, which include the safe launching and landing of canoes, improved fish handling, and enhanced storage capacities. Notable features of the port include a 200-capacity fish market, a 60-ton ice-making plant, a 200-ton cold store, and market stalls, among others.
This port is a symbol of hope, proof of the resilience and determination of our people, and a concrete manifestation of what we can achieve when we work together for the common good. It will create jobs, empower domestic economy, and revitalize the lives of the fisherfolk and traders of Jamestown. We will inject new energy into the heart of this community, and I have no doubt that its benefits will ripple across the nation.
Speaking at the commissioning ceremony, the President said the inclusion of the crèche will support women traders, allowing them to conduct their businesses with peace of mind, knowing their children are safe. The President underscored his government's understanding of the critical role agriculture and fisheries play in Ghana's economy, noting that the fishing sector supports over 2.6 million livelihoods and contributed $263.2 million to the nation's GDP in 2020.
And just as Elmina now thrives with increased fishing activity, so too will Jamestown become a hub of economic activity, growth, and prosperity. Ladies and gentlemen, projects like these are not mere monuments to progress. They are vital lifelines, means to socio-economic empowerment, avenues for job creation, and stepping stones to improve livelihoods.
The Minister for Transport, Kweku-Ofori-Esiama, the other President Akufo-Addo, whom he said should be credited for honoring his promise to the people of Jamestown.
In 2016, when His Excellency came here, he made a solemn promise to the people of Jamestown that if by God's grace he is elected as President of the Republic, this project will see the light of day. So when he won in 2016, in 2017, I accompanied the Vice President to China. It was one of the projects that he discussed. Then the President himself followed it. I was part of his team to make sure that the funding of the project is secure.
The Greater Accra Regional Minister, Daniel Titus Glover, said the project demonstrates government's commitment to improving the lives of those living along the coast.
It is estimated that this fishing harbour will generate direct and indirect jobs close to about 4,000 daily, creating new opportunities and livelihood for our people.
The Chinese ambassador to Ghana, Tong Defa, said the Jamestown Fishing Harbour project shows China's commitment to strengthening bilateral ties with Ghana for socio-economic development.
China remains Ghana's largest trading partner and major foreign investment source for many years. In the first half of this year, the bilateral trade volume almost reached $6 billion, with a year-on-year increase of 13.3%.
Speaking on the sideline to Iron Port, the Director General of GPHA, Michael Luwuji, said the facility will be well managed by his outfit to achieve its intended purpose of improving the lives of fisher folks.
All right, so still with the subject of Jamestown Fishing Harbour, we had in the studios a rep from the Ministry of Transport as well as a rep from the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority to discuss the potentials of this particular fishing harbour. Let's take a listen.
So let me come to Engineer Mavis and find out from you, first of all, what the objectives would be primarily for the fishing harbour and for the people,
for the objectives
serve, yes.
for the Jamestown fishing
Yes.
harbour, there are quite a lot. But a few of them that this evening I would like to share with you
Yes.
is to provide job opportunities for the people in the Jamestown community.
Right.
Secondly, one of the objectives also is to support the women in the Jamestown community. So there is a fishing market for them.
Right.
We also thought of ensuring safe launching of the artisanal fishing crafts.
Yes.
Because when these fishermen go to sea and they come and they don't get a good infrastructure, they also lose their craft because of the high tides and waves.
Yes.
So that is one of the objectives. We also thought of promoting a catch in a most hygienic environment.
Yes.
Most of the times, if you go to some of the fishing communities, you realize that people defecate around, which is not good for our health.
Absolutely.
So this is one of the reasons why we came up with this. And we also thought of improving the safety and welfare of the people in the community. So there are a lot, as I initially mentioned. We also thought of providing sanitation facilities for the people.
Right. And so you mentioned sanitation facilities.
Yes.
So can we go over, do you have a list of the other projects situated in the fishing harbour? I know there's a cold store. I know
So for the scope, there
yes.
are lots.
Yes.
So we take the marine structures that we do have.
Yes.
We have 1,200 meters breakwater.
Right.
And this breakwater also helps protecting their crafts. During high tides or when there is a storm, they need a safe area to keep their crafts.
Yes.
We also have a quay wall. When the vessels do come in, they need a place to berth.
Yes.
So there is a quay wall
Yes.
for safe berthing of trawlers and the bigger vessels.
Yes.
There is a platform or a landing area for the smaller canoes as well.
Yes.
Coming to the land side, we have an administration building that has different offices
Yes.
and a bigger hall for meetings and conferences.
Yes.
We do have fire safety area for the safety of the area. So there is a police station as well,
Yes.
or security area,
Yes.
because it's a bigger place.
Yes.
You also think about what could happen during operations.
Yes. And I also saw a lot of fire hydrants
Exactly.
all over the place.
Yes, because this is a huge facility. So you also need to put in place measures to make sure that when there is an event of fire,
Yes.
you'll be able to arrest it.
Right.
Yes. We also do have a fish market
Yes.
because we have a lot of women who also do sell fish.
Yes.
And the way people sell fish at some communities, you realize that they sell it directly under sun,
Yes.
which doesn't also help.
Yeah.
So we have a fish market whereby there is stalls, smaller stalls
Yes.
for women who would also engage in selling of fish when the men bring them from sea.
Yes.
We also do have a slipway area and a place that when the trawlers or the bigger vessels do come, they also need to repair, should there be maintenance works to be done on these. So we have an area or a workshop area where we can also maintain vessels that have issues on them.
Yes.
Adding to that, we also have the cold store, a cold store facility that is huge enough to also store a lot of fish.
Right.
Because when these fishermen do come and they have hamper harvest, what happens?
Yeah.
If they don't get buyers, the possibility of them losing the fish
Yes.
is high.
Absolutely.
So there is a cold store for them to keep the fish if they have hamper harvest.
Hamper
and
harvest,
other
yes.
businesses, those who come with their trawlers, they also need a place to store the fish,
Yes.
so that people would also come and buy and go to sell elsewhere.
Right.
We also do have an ice making plant,
Yeah.
a huge one, of course, that can produce about 60 tons of ice in a day. So we have 4 of this. And so in a week, or if you really need ice bars, it's easy, because when these fishermen are going to sea, most of them use ice blocks.
Yes.
They take it to sea so that they can preserve the fish courts. Other people in the area may also need ice bars
Yes.
for engagements, weddings, funerals. Okay, so these men, they are trying to work on their fishing nets.
Yes.
Because you realize that when they go to sea and they catch, sometimes the nets get torn.
Yes.
So they need a space
Yeah.
to also work on the nets.
And you created that space.
They have
The
that
fishing
space
harbour.
too.
Okay. Okay. Yes. I know there's also a crèche.
Sure.
Yes.
We didn't leave the women out.
Yes.
Because we noticed that most of these coastal regions, the mothers who go to sell fish, because they have to go at dawn, get the fish and purchase and sell to make ends meet,
Yeah.
they leave their wards home, or they carry them and they do not take them to school. So the plan was that, why should we leave these kids out? Because mothers are working to also make ends meet.
Yeah.
So let us create a kindergarten or the crèche. When mothers are coming to buy fish and sell in the fish market,
Yes.
they take their walls to the crèche, go to the market, sell their fish. When they are done, they go back, pick their walls back home, in order not to leave the kids abandoned and not going to school.
Awesome. Right. So let me come to Mr. Amewude and find out from you if there is anything you want to add to what Engineer Mavis has said.
Yeah. So thank you. I think engineer has said it all. Basically, the study I made reference to, that these facilities have been largely informed by the gaps that were identified, from the study.
Okay, so that means there was a needs assessment.
There was
study.
a needs assessment, in fact, a feasibility study.
Right.
You talk about post-harvest losses.
Losses, yeah.
That's why the ice-making plant and the cold store, for instance, have been, incorporated into the design. So the facilities, as enumerated by engineer, have been largely informed by the outcome of the study that was conducted.
Okay, so you just made mention of that, and I know that the ministry, together with the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority, are putting up 12 fishing harbours and landing sites across the country in coastal Ghana, and you are deeply involved, with that. And like you mentioned, some of these facilities are being provided to ease, the burden of our fisher folk within these communities and to enhance their livelihoods. That is the cardinal reason for which government decided to take this project and run with it. What we know is that last year His Excellency had calls to commission that of Elmina, the Elmina Fishing Harbour, which is in operation at the moment. And this year we've seen the Jamestown Fishing Harbour also commissioned by the President. And we're told reliably that these projects, the rest are at various stages of completion. Some are almost done and all that. And most of them have these facilities that have been outlined by Engineer Mavis. Well, can we take a look at the issue of sustainability and how we can get these sites, particularly the Jamestown, fishing harbour, to run sustainably? Indeed, Engineer Mavis mentioned in his submission the fact that there was some element of defecation around the area and all that. And I am a witness. When we were preparing for the commissioning, the whole of the week last week, we saw some of the guys there. They would go mount the stones and they are doing their own thing there. Even when the thing has been finished and preparation were underway for commissioning, we saw some of these things there. And so I think that it behooves the community itself to join hands with government to be able to properly maintain it. What do you think?
Exactly. I mean, these facilities, and like I said earlier, for instance, there's a toilet facility that has been incorporated into the design.
Right.
And this is the essence of it, because we observed from the report that there were, unsanitary conditions. The handling of fish, needs to be in such a manner that it's appealing and it's hygienic.
Yes.
And so rightly so, we need to ensure that these facilities, go the full haul to ensure that the objectives for which, they were put in place are achieved. So yes, I agree with you. It's in the right direction. Yeah.
Sustainability and maintenance.
Yes.
Yes. What do we need to be doing?
Okay, so for the management of this port,
Yes.
GPHA already has fishing harbours
Yes.
that they are managing.
Yes.
So this is going to be a replica of what is being done
Yes.
in Tema Fishing Harbour, Elmina Fishing Harbour, and the Bosomtwe,
Yes.
or let me say Takoradi Fishing Harbour.
Yes.
So whatever is being done there is going to also occur in this new
Replicated.
facility. Exactly.
Jamestown.
Jamestown.
In terms of sustainability and the maintenance.
Yes.
Okay, so let me come to Mr. Amewode once again and find out from you. We cannot run the Jamestown Fishing Harbour just because we think that we're going to improve the lot of the fishing community there in Jamestown and boost the local economy there. Ultimately, it will impact the national economy. How do you think this will happen?
Okay, thank you very much. The fishing industry, it's a whole, multi-million industry.
Absolutely.
It's a whole value chain, right from, fish harvesting to handling to, processing, transportation and consumption. And we know that it contributes to, our gross domestic product, as alluded to by His Excellency the President. So if you take such an industry that already creates jobs, numerous jobs, and is the mainstay of our folks, along the coast, and so if you take such an industry, naturally any investment that goes to improve the entire value chain is worth it. And so first of all, it will certainly contribute to gross domestic product because GDP computation, when you disaggregate, it has, by the Statistical Service, you have fisheries contribution, I think fisheries and aquaculture also.
Yes.
And so certainly, it has a role to play as far as, national development is concerned. And rightly so, His Excellency, the President couldn't have put it any better.
Let me come to you, Engineer Mavis, and let's talk about the plans for managing waste and environmental impacts associated with operating such a facility.
Like I initially said, GPHA as a corporate body
Yes.
has a department
Right.
who are also responsible for the
Estate and environment, yes.
So the Estate and Environment Department will be responsible for this. And they have in place what they have put down to ensure that the right things are done.
Okay, and then performance is the same thing. It's going to be replicated.
Exactly.
Okay. All right. So let me come to you, Mr. Amewode. I know since the inception of since the commissioning, so to speak, of the Elmina Fishing Harbour, you've monitored progress because you belong to the PPME department at the Ministry of Transport. And what would you tell us, the impact has been since the commissioning last year, and as we zoom into proper operations of the Jamestown Fishing Harbour, do you expect to see similar happenings here in Accra and in Jamestown?
Yeah, thank you. So yes, naturally, ports and harbors, are real, economic centers where you find brisk business, brisk commercial activities, and like you rightly said, the Elmina ports, from the reports, Elmina Fishing Harbour, from the reports that we have received so far, has tremendously improved the local economy of Elmina and its environs. You see the number of, we hear the number of people on daily basis who troop to the facility. It's amazing. And in all this, you have value additions. You have jobs that are, created on a daily basis. I know that in the chain, for instance, at some of the fishing harbors, when you go, there are people.
Okay, so this is Elmina. Actually, yes. So you go ahead, Mr. Amewa.
Yeah, there are people who basically are around to help the fisher folks to dock their canoes. And once the canoe is docked, they get some, fish. I mean, they are given some fish, small as it may be, and then that is their reward for the service that they provide. And once you are entering, you have these folks, trying to sell this fish to you. So in a way, it's also, some form of employment. I mean, value that, people and service that people have rendered, and they are getting value, not in cash, but, from fish catch. And so it's a whole, economic zone, and we couldn't have been happier, with the project. Same would go for Jamestown, I believe. And from where we sit, I mean, already we have received proposals from the private sector to even, they are asking to partner, the GPHA as far as the management of the facility is concerned. And when you go through the proposals, you see that they are proposing some additional value, some value addition that would, lead to increased revenue generation. Because
do you mind sharing some of these additional values?
Well, some have proposed, for instance, to do water sports, and also possibly leverage on the tourism potential of the area. You have the lighthouse, and people travel all the way to come and see. Yes. For instance, in Elmina, there's a viewing deck, where tourists can go and, have a view of the entire port basins. Right. So these are some of the proposals that have come so far.
Right.
But that is to say that, to the extent that these are just proposals, I'm sure that, the right personalities will look at it and then see what can be made of it. Yeah.
Iron Port returns after this break.
Good energy brings you quality choices with GOIL Super XP. Available in many GOIL stations nationwide. It is fortified with special additives that help your engine perform better and use less fuel. Branch into a GOIL station today and energize your ride with GOIL Super XP, compatible with most vehicles. GOIL Super XP will feel ya, huh? Will be feel. GOIL, good energy. Yeah, yeah.
Electricity, then pay your taxes. Yeah. Our taxes, our future.
Because you see, without our taxes, we wouldn't have good roads, good schools, better hospitals, street lights, and other very important social amenities. When we pay our taxes, we give our children free and quality education. Talga, my money too small. Why should I pay my tax? Look, small. Salifo, it doesn't matter how small or big your business or income is, you still have to pay your taxes. The little taxes from each and every one of us, when put together, could give your community clean water or that deprived school with tables and chairs. Please pay your taxes. It is your responsibility. It is your civic duty. It is the law.
MPS Terminal 3 is Africa's new state-of-the-art container terminal at Tema Port. For manufacturers, agro-processors and traders, the new port means business can be done faster. This infrastructure boost will improve Ghana's port handling capacity, connect more trading routes, and oil the engine of growth for the economy, creating greater opportunities across all sectors as Africa's markets merge and become the largest trading bloc globally. MPS, we connect, you thrive.
Business and life can be like the sea sometimes. Sometimes serene, sometimes calm, sometimes turbulent, and at times it brings the unexpected. However it is like, trust Phoenix Insurance for your home, car, business, and marine insurance needs. Call 0302-246-319 or 0243-690-492.
At Phoenix, you experience a delightful service delivered with wisdom.
Welcome to the GPHA port of Takoradi, Ghana's first commercial port. The Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority (GPHA) has in its quest to position the ports of Ghana as the leading trade and logistics hub of West Africa, embarked on a massive expansion drive at its Takoradi port, the first commercial port of the country. This has resulted in a radical transformation of the initial 7-berth low-drafted port, which was constructed in 1928, to an ultra-modern port fitted with deep-drafted container, multi-purpose dry bulk, and liquid bulk facilities. The 16-meter deep dry bulk terminal is the deepest in the sub-region, with a total quay length of 800 meters. It is fitted with a combined 3-kilometer length conveyor system, which comes with a 2,500 metric tons per hour ship loading capacity, which has greatly improved ship turnaround time at the port. The Marshall Liquid Bulk Terminal is a fully automated liquid bulk facility dredged to -14 chart datum and equipped with automated firefighting system. The facility is fitted with 5 loading arms for gasoline, diesel, LPG, bitumen, and heavy fuel. On the container side, Takoradi Port's 16-meter deep yield port and ATSL container terminal with a quay length of 600 is expected to receive container vessels in the third quarter of the year.
Welcome back from the break. There are news and activities happening within the port and maritime industry next.
A remarkable milestone in Ghana's ambition to have a reliable and steady supply of bitumen for the nation's road network construction has been achieved with the coming on board of the African Bitumen Terminal and Production Plant. The African Bitumen Terminal, situated in the Tema industrial area, has a production plant capacity of 7,500 metric tons and is capable of delivering the best range of raw bitumen, polymer modified bitumen (PMB), and bitumen emulsions in Ghana and across the sub-region. This state-of-the-art facility is realized from a joint venture between Ghana's #1 oil marketing company GOIL PLC and SMB from La Côte d'Ivoire. Commissioning the facility last Thursday, President of Ghana Nana Akufo-Addo said the $40 million project is evidence of what ECOWAS states can achieve when they pool resources together.
This facility has come at the right time. My government is undertaking the most expensive expansion of the road network ever seen in this country, with the construction of some 12,000 kilometers of road since 2017. I strongly believe that the contribution of the GOIL-SMB bitumen plant will complement fully government's efforts in road construction.
This accession was supported by the Prime Minister of La Côte d'Ivoire, Robert Boigre Mambe, who represented the President of the country, Alassane Ouattara. On his part, The Minister for Energy, Herbert Crapper, while commending GOIL for bringing to Ghana the highest quality of bituminous products, implored the company to deliver on efficiency when it comes to energy consumption.
This plant must be a zero carbon emission model for others to follow. It must contribute directly to our efforts of reaching net zero in the next few years, and it must ensure energy efficiency at all levels.
The board chairman of GOIL, Reginald Daniel Lai, revealed that this project is part of GOIL's vision to diversify its portfolio and present various service offerings to Ghanaians and beyond.
GOIL's ultimate objective is to become a major supplier of bitumen and a producer of the highest quality polymer modified bitumen PMB for here along the West Coast.
The managing director and group chief executive of GOIL, Kwame Osei-Prempeh, said the coming on board of the African Bitumen Terminal is a critical step in supporting ongoing government efforts to expand Ghana's road network. He urged the government to introduce a policy that will encourage the consumption of locally sourced bitumen for road construction projects.
The practice where some contractors are giving tax waivers to import bitumen should be discouraged. Ghana stands to gain if measures are put in place to prevent low quality grades of bitumen being imported to the country.
The director of SMB, Marie Josephine Sidibe, also expressed excitement at this fruitful partnership between two indigenous giants in the energy sector. The leadership of Singapore-based shipping line Pacific International Lines has expressed the company's continued confidence in the ports of Ghana as it plans to expand its West Africa service. The Chief Executive Officer of PIL, Lars Christian Kastrup, made this declaration while leading a delegation to the Director General of Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority, Michael Lugoje, last Tuesday. He said PIL is looking to explore renewed opportunities to serve the Ghanaian market, as well as establish Ghana as a major transshipment hub in the region.
We are upgrading our West Africa services, and you were kind enough to receive a Tema, which is a chartering ship we have. But right now we are building 8,000 CU ships. We are LNG fuel. We are building also going to build 9,000 CUs, 9,200 CU ships, and those ships will eventually find the way to West Africa. And we have chartered in so we can start doing that development already now. And we were talking about bringing partners. We thought, well, let's do it ourselves for now because we are big enough. So we are going to continue to concentrate a lot on the two key countries for us, which is Nigeria and Ghana.
The chief executive of PIL said the Asian line is currently in good financial standing and keen on consolidating its position on the African continent, recognizing Ghana's ports as instrumental in this process.
We are very happy with the service we get here. I was just here to share with you that our commitment to Ghana is even more than before, with our regional office, which we are very happy to have in Ghana, and of course Rasmus and his team here also. And you have a PIL which is today financially very strong, and also thank you for the support during the difficult times.
On his part, the Director General of GPHA, Michael Lugoje, revealed that his outfit is undertaking major transformational projects to attract increased traffic to the port. Among them is the new Atlantic container and multi-purpose terminal at the port of Takoradi.
The advantage of Takoradi is that there's no congestion. Virtually just birth on arrival. So all those attractions should help us, especially for transshipment.
Yes,
it will be a very good, facility. But they are really up to. No Yield Port is the majority shareholder in it. They are 51% shareholders.
Yes.
And they are really very, very serious at retooling and make it attractive.
Michael Lugoje said the authority is also committed to ensuring efficiency at the various terminals at Ghana's ports in order to repay the faith reposed in the authority.
I think over the years we've had a very, very successful partnership, which is growing in terms of calls and also the volumes that are coming through our ports. And we are quite positive that going down into the next couple of years, we will soon really be much more positioned to provide a good
competitive environment.
We have some international port and maritime news.
Denmark's shipping heavyweight AP Moller-Maersk and Germany's container shipping major Hapag-Lloyd have unveiled details of their upcoming operational collaboration, Gemini Cooperation, slated for launch in February 2025. The cooperation comprises a fleet of around 300 to 340 vessels, among which Maersk is to deploy 60% of them, while Hapag-Lloyd would deploy the remaining 40%. Additionally, many of the ships would be ready for the adoption of cleaner fuels. With the launch just around the corner, Maersk and Hapag-Lloyd recently shared an update that pertains to finalized service maps and how the network they have been building since the announcement in January 2024 has evolved. Depending on which network the cooperation will phase in, the new network will consist of either 27 or 29 efficient ocean mainliner services supported by an extensive network of 30 intra-regional shuttle services. According to Maersk, the overarching aim will be to deliver schedule reliability above 90% through a flexible and interconnected ocean network. Hapag-Lloyd CEO Rolf Haben-Jensen explains both Maersk and Hapag are well aligned on the ambition to deliver quality and accelerate decarbonization. Dock workers at some of Australia's leading bulk and general cargo pads are the latest planning job actions as their contracts negotiations drag on. The National Maritime Union of Australia reports it received 100% support for industrial actions in Melbourne and Port Kembla and over 99% for an action in Brisbane, all targeting integrated terminal operator Qube. The contracts for the WAFIs expired in June 2024, with the union accusing Qube of delaying negotiations and reaching new terms. The MUA said they had been seeking early cooperative negotiations with management of Qube since October 2023. The issues cited by the union sound familiar as they recur with striking similarity around the world from Europe to North America to Australia. For most of the summer, Germany's container ports were without a contract and only reached tentative terms last week after 5 rounds of strikes. Canadian dock workers are also moving towards a strike, while in the United States, the International Longshoremen's Association appears to be set for a strike that will run the length of the Atlantic coast and into the Gulf Coast ports, impacting containers and rural traffic.
Now, schedules of vessels to the port, those at Anchorage and those expected in the coming week, plus the Bank of Ghana exchange rate you need to know to clear your goods from the port next. Let's take a look at some comments you've been sharing with us.
This one comes from Ato in Takoradi. He says, I hope the authorities have put in place rigorous measures to check sanitation in the area because littering and pollution can become a problem that will degrade the place. This one comes from Ni. He says, distribution should be fairly done to bring peace in the area, devoid of politics against each other.
It's time for the word of the day.
Afloat. Afloat refers to the condition of a vessel which is floating freely, not aground or sunk. This is a term more generally used to describe vessels in service. For example, the company has 10 ships afloat.
So this is where we draw the curtain on this week's episode of Eye on Port. Thank you for watching and thanks to the entire crew. Join us same time next week.